All right, so let's rest our hands on our legs, on our knees, wherever your comfy seat is there. Maybe close your eyes if you like, or just soften your gaze downwards so that the muscles around your eyes that have been staring at a screen, probably for a little too long if you're anything like me, so that those muscles can start to relax. Notice if you're squinting, can you soften that space between the eyebrows? And let's take our 3 cleansing breaths in through your nose and out with a long, soft sigh. Let the shoulders drop, freeing up the neck and the head. And over your next 2 breaths, just allow your awareness to soften inwards. Notice any holding in your body that you can unwind a bit more here. Noticing where your seat meets support. And let your weight drain down into the ground. Taking a moment just to check in, noticing how you are, where you are, body, mind, and heart. I'm just creating this welcoming space for you to show up just as you are, right here, right now. And tuning back into your breath, we're just going to come into our long, deep breathing here. So feeling your inhale, your breath flowing in from your belly all the way up to your heart. And then as you exhale, softening from your heart all the way down to your belly. And let's start to kind of feel that movement of the belly. So as you're breathing in, let the whole abdominal area relax as the breath expands upwards. And as the breath is flowing back down and out, gently draw the belly muscles in, keeping the upper body soft. Let's do that one more time, filling yourself up from bottom to top. Expanding out in all directions and exhaling from top to bottom, gathering your belly to your back. Relax at the end of your next breath. And let's drop the head forward, chin to the chest. And just taking an easy roll from shoulder to shoulder. Start to bring a little movement here. If this is feeling snug, tight today. Starting to warm these muscles up. And as you tip back over to your right, ear to shoulder, we're going to stay there and take our chin and turn it down. So as if you were trying to see behind you without really cranking to get there, just nice and easy. And then in that position, tuck your chin in a little bit more towards your collarbone. And we're going to come into a micro movement where we're tipping the head just slightly up, slightly down. And just feel your breath flowing here into this left side of the neck and shoulder. Let's do that one more time. And as you draw the chin down next, we'll roll back across the chest to the other side. Let's start ear to shoulder, so head on that tilt, right shoulder heavy. And then from there, turning to gaze behind you and then tucking your chin in just that little bit. And find that little kind of inch up, inch down micro movement. Breathing here into this right side of the neck. Let's do that one more time. And this time as you roll your chin forward, we're going to pause, chin to chest, and then reach your fingertips out beside you. As you sweep your arms out and up, let's take our gaze up towards the fingers and then sweep your arms out and down and take your gaze towards the heart. And again with your breath, inhaling on the way up, feeling that length in two directions through your body, and then exhaling on the way down, gathering your belly to your back. Finding the length of your breath, your own unique breathing rhythm today, and just synchronizing your movement to it. Let's take that 2 more times at your own rhythm. And then this next time, whenever you get there, as the arms sweep up, we'll interlace the fingers and then point your index fingers up. So it's kind of, I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of that Charlie's Angels, right? Fingers are interlaced except for your pointer fingers are reaching up. And we're just gonna kind of pull ourselves up here, kind of wiggle up out of the waist. Don't worry what your shoulders are doing. Let them come up with you. And then just melt the shoulder blades down your back. Feel a little bit of energy up through your finger points and then tip your chin towards your chest. Take another breath here. And then release your head to center and sweep the arms all the way back down, light and easy, hands to your legs, and just roll through your shoulders. Let your shoulders melt right down onto your back. Pause here. And then let's take this left hand to the floor, a little side bend. We're going to keep that right arm low for a second. So if you like, you could place that right hand on your waist or higher up onto your ribs. Let your head be in any easy position here. And press just a little bit into that right hand left hand on the floor to open up through this right side body. And just feel your breath here, expanding into the ribs. Now on your next inhale, we're going to sweep that right arm up overhead, turning your gaze towards it. Stay in your side bend and exhale, sweep your arm back down and turn your gaze to the floor, to your left hand. Again, breathing in as you sweep that right arm up. Breathing out as you sweep it back down. Once more, inhale. And exhale. From here, we're going to float ourselves up. Let's sweep both arms up. Palms pressed together and bring them down through the midline, gathering yourself to your center. Release your hands down, and we'll come to the other side. So right hand to the floor, just coming into a comfy side bend. Again, you can kind of press a little bit into that hand to help just open up, not forcing, not pushing, just allowing a little bit more space into this left side body. Left hand either down on your waistline or maybe up on the ribs so you can just feel your breath moving here. Can you feel your breath moving your ribs? Releasing any stuck stress through this area and through the diaphragm. So again, just another easy breath here. And on your next inhale, we're going to sweep that left arm up overhead, looking towards it, maybe tucking your chin just a bit to keep length through the back of the neck. And then sweeping that arm all the way back down as you look to the right hand on the floor. Again, we'll inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, sweep down, look down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Gathering your belly towards your back so that as we start to float up, we're moving from a little bit more of that core connection. We'll sweep both arms up, palms press, and come home to your heart for one full breath right here. Interlace your fingers. Press your palms forward as you tuck and round through your back. Reach the arms back overhead, soften the shoulders down. You're going to separate the hands, turn the palms to face each other, kind of that feeling of plugging your thumbs into the wall behind you. Draw the elbows back and down as you lift through your chest. Reaching all the way to the floor. Interlace your fingers the other way. Let's breathe in, hands to heart. Exhale again, press the hands forward as you round through the back, gather the belly in. Take the length of your next inhale to sweep up, and the length of your next exhale to reach the elbows back and down, opening up through the front of your body. And continue just to rest your hands all the way down into your knees. Have a bit of a wiggle. Easy breath. And just pausing to notice what you notice. All right, let's stretch these legs of ours out. Go ahead and just roll through your ankles a little bit. So one of the things I've really learned about knees and hips too is when they are not feeling so great, the more we can do to strengthen the muscles that support them, oftentimes the better they feel. So we're going to go through a little series of kind of combined strength and stretch, although not so much stretch. We're going to call upon some somatic yoga today for some of that muscle repatterning rather than taking them into a stretch. All right, so come off of your cushion. We'll use that at the end, so don't let that go too far away. Let's lean back for a moment on the hands, knees bent in front of us, feet wide. We're just going to come into our knee sways, rocking side to side. The next time that your knees mosey over to the left, we're going to kind of rock up on that left hip and bring this right hand to your right hip. We're just going to press it a little forward, let your upper body wrap around with you, and then press it a little back. And that as you rock that hip back, your knee, right knee might even float a little off the floor. So press a little forward, rock a little back. So we're just allowing the natural movement there without trying to make something happen or stop something from happening. We're just allowing a little free movement here. We're going to roll that hip back. We're going to take the knees to the right. Same idea as we roll up on that right hip. The left hand comes to the left hip as we rock forward. And then just sort of unwind as the hip comes back. That left knee might float up a little. So rocking and rolling here. Let's do that once more. And coming all the way back up to center. And I forgot to mention, if you do have a ball or a block that you'd like to use, go ahead and grab that. Should have gotten us there first. Sorry about that. And we can come down onto our back with ball between the legs. Make sure whatever you're using doesn't get too high up in the knees, kind of the bony pointy parts of the knees here, but that you can feel that down in the muscles of the inner thighs. So we're going to use that ball or block or roll towel or whatever you have there to, one, initiate a little bit more awareness and support through the inner legs. I find that's pretty weak in most of us, myself included. But also to work on a little extra stability. So we got stability for the hips and strengthening for the legs. And we're just going to bring arms by the sides. Now we're going to play for a moment here. So let's keep our like 5 to 10% effort. Squeeze on that ball. And if you don't have something, I want you just to imagine that you're squeezing them. So it's sort of that inner thighs attract feel without physically moving the legs closer together. So if you don't have a ball or block, you're just going to imagine that you do. Give that a gentle squeeze. And from here, we're going to take this right leg and just extend it out. So we're going to press out through the heel. So there's a little squeeze on the ball and we're toning up the thigh. And then we're going to float that foot back down. Let's stay on that side. We're going to do a couple more. So let's add our breath. Let's inhale here. And as we exhale, gather the belly gently in, extend that right heel out, trying to keep your legs, your thighs parallel to each other, and then slowly back in. And again, exhale, reach out, right side. Inhale, back in. Let's just do that one more time. Exhale, press. Inhale, bend. And just let your weight land there for a moment. Maybe even just kind of give a jiggle to that right side to make sure it's not still in contraction. Let's go. Other way, let's take our breath in. And then exhale, extend the left heel out. Keeping gentle squeeze on the ball. Kind of tighten firm the left leg. And the feeling is that you're lifting up the kneecap with your quad muscles, your thigh muscles. And then slowly bring it back in. And again, exhale, press out through the left. Inhale, bringing that in. Let's do 2 more. Nice and slow, don't rush it. Really let yourself feel that extension and that little hug of the muscles into the bone. And as you come back in, let your weight land in both feet and just relax that left side. Maybe give it a little jiggle as well. Okay, now we're going to make I always call them robot arms. So we're coming into this 90-degree angle of the upper body. So the elbows are just going to sort of shave down by your ribs so they're close into you. And that whole upper arm from the shoulder to the elbow is pressing firmly into the floor while your fingers are enthusiastically reaching skyward. So you've got a lot of energy and support here. From here, let's press up into our neutral bridge. So you're going to feel equal weight into both feet, knees reaching to the wall in front of you, gentle squeeze on the ball or block, and making sure that you stay a little connected here through the front of the body. So we have this little bit more equal length, kind of like I can't think of the right word, an inclined plane here from the knees to the shoulders rather than a big arch. Okay, from there, lower your hips, release your back for a second. Let's breathe in. Spread your feet wide and let's exhale, press back up, spread your toes wide. On your inhale again, lower back down. Release the back for a second, and then as you exhale, we're going to press back up. Let's do 2 more. Moving slowly and mindfully, gathering a little strength and support for our whole body here. Last one. Okay, as you lower back down, relax everything. You can move your ball off to the side. Maybe just come into some knee sways here. And let's stretch ourselves out, whole body, toes to fingers. Getting nice and long. And then sweep the right knee into your chest, holding around or underneath that knee as your left leg reaches out, as though you could push that left heel into the wall. Let's take a deep belly breath right here. Now just slide that left foot onto the floor. Hold behind your right leg and press your heel up to the ceiling. Let's just do a little tapping there on the back of the leg. And then from here, so we're pressing down through the hip, down through the tailbone, up through the heel, however much length you have behind your knee without forcing that. And then with your next inhale, let's bend the knee into the chest. And exhale, stretch back up. Again, let's inhale as we bend. Exhale as we stretch. Do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale. And we're going to let our leg hover there on its own. So arms by your sides. Start to lower your leg just a few inches so that you can free up the hamstring and maybe reach out a little bit more through the knee. And then let's again kind of firm up the leg, so that feeling of hugging the muscles into the bones all the way around. Keep that firm leg as you very slowly lower it all the way down. Take your time, longer, slower than you want to. And when that leg eventually finds the ground, you're just going to let it flop and shake it out a little bit. And from here, we're going to slide the knee, so hands free this time. We've done this, but it's been a long time. So you're just going to slide the knee into the chest without the hands. And then the heel lowers and extends out along the floor. You're going to take that straight leg and reach it up. Straight leg floats down. Knee floats into the chest. So with our breath, inhale, stretch that right leg out across the floor. Exhale, float it up, smooth and easy. Make sure you're not just tossing it up there. Inhale, lower. Exhale, float the knee into the chest. Last one. Inhale, press out. Exhale, float up. Inhale, lower down. And exhale, knee to chest. And then place that foot onto the floor. Let everything melt for a moment. Pause for a breath. All right, let's go ahead here and bring our left knee to the chest, again holding around or under that knee, and slide your right leg out. So energy moving in two different directions here. Left knee to your chest, right heel away from you. Soft shoulders, and then let your breath fill your belly, fill your ribs. We're going to slide that right foot back onto the floor again. Holding behind the left leg, just stretching that up, and let's do that tapping up and down the back of this thigh. And we're just going to hold there, holding that stretch weight into your tailbone, reaching through your heel. And with your next inhale, let's bend the knee into the chest. And then exhale, press back up. Ooh. Again, we inhale as we bend, just finding that long, deep breathing that we started with last time. Okay, leg hovers here on its own. Let's lower the arms down. We're going to lower the leg just a few inches to be able to reach out through that knee, maybe a little bit more, and then really firm that leg up so you can feel all of those muscles hugging into the bone as we slowly lower the leg to the floor. Take your time. It feels like the floor has moved a foot lower. When your leg eventually gets there, let everything relax. And then again, hands free, we're just going to glide that left knee into the chest. And then on your next inhale, lower the heel, slide that leg all the way back out across the floor. Exhale, float your straight leg up. Inhale, leg lowers. Exhale, knee bends in. Do that twice more. And we're just flowing through the joints. We're moving through the knee, through the hip. We're working with a little core here. Last one. Inhale to stretch out. And exhale to float up. Inhale to lower down. Exhale to come back in. And then we float that foot to the floor. Let your weight land and let everything relax. Nice big breath. All right. Let's roll over onto our side. I'm coming onto my right side just because that's going to be facing you, but whichever side you're starting with is fine. We'll bend the knees in front of the hips and bring that top hand to the floor in front of you. Actually, bring that top hand to your hip so you can kind of feel where it is in space here for a moment. So we're going to start with a clamshell movement. So strengthening these outer hip and glute muscles. Super duper important for just our everyday living, but also great for both our hip and our knee health. So the goal is to not let the hips rock back and forward for this one. So we're going to keep the hips stacked on top of each other. The feet stay together, and we're just going to press that top knee up and then lower it down. And you might just keep your hand even behind your hip for those first few to see, is the hip wanting to roll back or can you stabilize there? Just breathing naturally. And take that nice and slow, and we'll do 3 more. It usually doesn't take very long to start to feel the muscles that are working here. So important to keep them happy and healthy though. Last one. Okay, and then just kind of wiggle out the hips, let them completely relax here. Then we're going to straighten the leg all the way out. Keep your foot flexed. And again, there's that feeling of hugging the muscles into the bone. So we're firming the muscles of the leg, and we're going to do a small range of motion down and up. Just a small controlled range of motion to strengthen these abductors, the outer leg muscles. Good. Toes stay pointing forward the whole while for 3 more. 2. Last 1. And then from here, you're going to just lower that foot to the floor, let the knee release. You get a little hip release with that. Usually feels pretty delicious. We can take a breath there. And we're just going to reach back out. The foot can stay on the floor or it can lift up to hip height. Just a little energy moving in that direction as the top arm comes back overhead. So we're just lengthening out, stretching out. Breathing into that whole top side of your body. And we are going to float that leg back up just a little, just to hip height, so everything's in one long line here. Then we're going to bend the knee straight into the chest from there, and the arm is going to glide by it. So the arm's going to press back as the knee comes in, and then the leg presses back as the arm reaches up. I call it a spacewalk, sort of like we're slow motion in space. Okay, so we're going to inhale when we come into the reach, and then exhale, knee and arm in. Synchronizing with your breath. Last 1. Let's come into that final reach. And from your reach, just let everything lower to the floor, kind of flop, let the knee release. Good. Slide your hand back in front of you. Bring your knees on top of each other. And we're going to take a little twisty here. So this left arm, or whatever your top arm is it's going to make a little rainbow sweep up overhead. We're just going to roll open to a gentle twist. And then roll forward again. Let's do that again. Sweeping open. And sweeping back. Inhale as you roll open. Now let's stay there for a moment. Maybe turning your head a little to the left. Melting wherever you can melt here. And then slowly sweep the arm all the way back, coming onto your side. We're going to see if my brain can keep track of this full series when we come to the other side. I think I'll be able to remember it. Okay, we're going to do one more thing here. So we're going to take this top leg back out. So this is the TFL release. TFL, tensor fascia lata, right here at the top of the outer hip. Okay, so we're going to flex our foot. Again, kind of firm the muscles up, and you're going to guide or glide your leg forward. We want to build a little bit of a tension load here so you can feel some sensation building in the hip. And then we slowly lower the leg. You want to unlock that knee and make sure it fully releases as we just sort of melt forward. Let's do that again. So extending the leg all the way out. We're just going to hug the muscles into the bones. As the leg comes forward, we can change the angle each time that it reaches to. So even though you might be able to bring your leg up higher, you don't necessarily have to. So try a new angle, lower, release, relax. Okay, we're going to extend that leg back out and we do second variation. So externally rotating the leg, so you're turning out from the hip. Toes turn out, inner heel is going to glide forward, lower, and fully let that contraction go. Just want to kind of flop. Do that one more time. So we're extending out, turning out, kind of, at the same time that you turn the leg out, you're kind of plugging the leg up into the hip, and then it comes forward. And then it lowers. And then we release. Got one more variation. So we extend the leg all the way back out, and now it's internal rotation. So we turn in from the upper thigh, toes pigeon-toed, outer heel now leads the way forward. Again, let's go slow. Let's take a moment there to let that tension load build, because after we release, that tension lets go. That's where the deeper release, the unwinding of tightness will happen there. This is really wonderful for releasing not only the tightness in the hips, but the lower back as well. Okay, so let's do that one, internal rotation, one more time. So we're pressing the leg out, we're turning in, bring it forward, lower, and relax. Bring your knees back together. Now before we come to the other side, let's just roll onto our back for a moment. And do a little body check here. So stretching your legs all the way out, wiggling to center. Just let the weight of your body rest on the ground and notice how you feel in your body. In particular, any contrast in the sensations between left and right. Take a whole body breath. Just noticing even differences in leg length or how your hips are situated on the ground. And now let's bend our knees, and you can either roll over to the other side or roll to your side. Come up and swing on around. Now, where did we start? All right. This is where years of dance and choreography come into play. I think I can remember this. Okay, so we're going back to clamshell. So the feet are going to stay together. Remember, your top hip is balanced over top of the bottom hip. And again, you can keep that top hand there for a little feedback if you like these first couple as you open the knee as the hip wanting to roll back with you. If it is, you can make that a smaller range of motion so that you can really strengthen and stabilize the right muscles, the ones that we're looking for. So we're just opening and closing that top knee. Two more. Last one. Bring the legs together, give your hips a little wiggle, relax that effort. All right. Extending that straight leg out. Again, firming the muscles of the leg. Your foot's in a parallel position. And we're just going to take it a little bit down and a little bit up. So just working, it's called pure abduction, abductors down the outside of the leg. Breathing. Noticing any other place in your body that's trying to help you out, gripping a little bit that doesn't need to. Let's do one more. And then you're going to lower that leg down. Let the knee unlock so everything just sort of melts into the ground there. Soften. And then we're just going to come into our stretch. So we're going to reach the top leg back out. Let's keep the foot on the floor for right now. So it's still flexed. It's kind of like, sorry, my mat keeps curling up on me there. It's kind of like you're kind of pushing something away from you with the whole sole of your foot. And then that top arm comes overhead, and we just enjoy a little stretch. Breath moving into that top side of the body. And then we're going to float the arm and leg up in line with the body. So a nice long line. And then from there, we bend the knee into the chest, and then the arm glides back. Our spacewalk. So let's inhale into our reach. Exhale, arm and leg pass by each other. Good. Gliding on your breath. Exhaling, gathering the belly muscles in. So we're being mindful of working from our center, from our core. Do one more. We're going to come back into that lovely long reach. And then from there, lower the leg. We'll bring the hand in front of the chest and the knees back on top of each other. We're going to take that into our twist. So the top arm is just going to sweep along the floor up overhead as you roll open. Hello there, body. And then rolling back over onto your side. Inhale as you sweep open, let the head roll with you. Exhale as you sweep back. One more time, and let's stay for a moment as we come into our twist again. Finding those nooks and crannies that we can soften into. Another beautiful awareness here is just to again feel the breath moving through the ribs. Deepening into the belly. Melting into the support of the ground. And then rolling back over onto your side, hand resting in front of you. All right, I think we're at our TFL series now. Holler at me if I've left something out. Okay, so we're going to take that top leg. So we start in a parallel position. We extend that top leg out. Again, we just want to kind of firm up the muscles and do this for a moment. Feel as if you could push that leg into the wall, and you'll probably feel that top hip actually lengthens out a little bit more. So the hips have gone, excuse me, from being stacked on top of each other to slightly tipped when we really push out through that heel. So when we think of plugging the leg up into the hip, we're really pulling the hip back in line. So now they're stacked on top of each other, and you're going to feel probably a little effort into the side as well. So from there, now that we have a nice tension load there, let's glide that leg forward and then lower it down. Unlock that knee, make sure it fully relaxes so that there's no more contraction there at all. That's where the magic happens. Same thing. So extend out, kind of firm up the leg, kind of plug the leg up into the hip, glide it forward. Lower and release. And then we're just going to keep going with that. So we're doing 2 of each. So our next version is turned out. Leg glides forward. And when the leg releases, be there for a moment. So don't rush right back up into the next one. Let your body just absorb that. Do one more of the turned out. So kind of plug in the leg into the hip. Excuse me. I'm actually doing a cleanse right now. I've got some stuff going on with my body. My voice, I'm breaking out in a rash. There's all kinds of stuff going on. It's a crazy day in this neck of the woods. All right, we've got one more variation, and that's our turned in. So internal rotation, lots of energy moving out through the heel. And it's always interesting to me to just notice which of those three variations you really connect with, like which one feels really good in your body. And that's probably where your body's asking for a little extra TLC right now. So you can do more of these throughout your day, if you like. All right, so we relax. Take a nice big breath. Bring your knees back on top of each other again. Let's roll onto our back again. Recentering on your mat. And again, just take a moment. We'll keep knees bent. Take a moment to, again, just feel your weight land. Actually, you know what? Let's stretch the legs out again and see what changed. Does anything feel different now that we've done both sides? Maybe it feels like more of your whole body is in contact with the ground, or just maybe there's a different sense of balance or different awareness. Then bend your knees. We're going to slide them all the way into the chest. Give yourself a little hug, a little rock, side to side. It might feel nice to circle the knees around. Let's go the other way. And as you come back to center, lower just your left foot to the floor. We're going to take our right leg up and then wrap it over top. So crossing at the knees rather than at the ankle. So, sitting cross-legged kind of style. If you have your ball or a pillow or something nearby that you might want to support, kind of bolster your legs with, you can bring it over to your left side. But we're going to do our our hip hop. Ooh, I just realized, hip hop. All right, so we're going to hop our hips to the right. So we're actually moving them from center over to the right so we can roll up a bit more onto that left hip. And then the knees are coming over. Now they can come to the floor if that feels good, but if that's a little testy on your back, just support them with something. Let them relax there. Your right arm your hand could be on your ribs. Your arm could be all the way out to the side. It could be up overhead. Just explore there to see what feels good for you. And then we're just going to be here for a moment. And again, feeling the spaciousness of our breath moving through the inner body. So once we're here, once we're feeling comfortable and supported in this shape, then it's really just our breath that's doing the, I don't even want to call it work. It's working some magic in there, right? So just through breathing, we're creating the length, we're creating some softening, any tension, any holding, neck, shoulder, back, hip, groin, toes, jaw. Just feel your full, warm, sunshiny breath filling you up. In other words, we're not trying to get anywhere. We're just relaxing where we are. After your next exhale, let's bring that right arm down. And in this position, we're going to uncross the legs. So they're going to come stacked on top of each other. A little easier in the back here. And then bring your knees up to center, your hips to center. And bring your cushion to the right side. Okay, we're going to take our left leg up and over the right. Hop your hips over to the left so we can roll up onto that right hip. Bolster the legs however you need to there. And then left arm can be wherever you like. Maybe roll the head gently side to side here. Again, just welcoming. We're going to call it that liquid gold sunlight of our breath into all of our nooks and crannies here, into the spaces between the ribs, into the muscles along the spine, into your belly, into your hips, underneath the shoulder blade. Just allowing yourself to be held in this position by the ground, by any cushions there, for another breath or two. Twists are really wonderful anytime, as long as your body's happy with them, but for the digestive organs too. So especially as we're starting to move into spring, this is a great time to do a little internal spring cleaning, thus my cleanse. But let's bring the knees back on top of each other. We're going to bring that left arm down. Take your time as the knees float up and the hips come back to center. Just let everything realign there. But when we are in a twist, it's like all of the fluids, the blood flow, the digestive, everything gets squeezed out. And then when we come out of that twist, all of the fresh nutrients and blood flow and lymph and everything can come back in. And it can really help release some of the deep-seated tensions held through our inner body, but it can also really help our digestive body receive the nutrients that we're bringing into it a little bit easier. So let's take one final stretch out through our whole body here. And then we're going to do a short Shavasana. So you're welcome to stay right where you are, or maybe find your bolster and place that back underneath your knees. We'll just give our body a few moments to take in all of this goodness that we've made space for. So wherever you are, maybe just kind of rock the legs back and forth a little, all the way up into the hips. Make some space between your shoulders. The arms can rest on your body or by your sides. And just close the eyes, soften the corners of our eyes. Feel the full weight of your body relaxing down into that gentle pull of gravity now as the whole front of your body softens down onto the whole back of your body. And then the whole back of your body relaxes deeper into that warm, nurturing embrace of the ground beneath you. And take a few easy breaths, even letting go of effort around the breath, but just notice, let's allow. Allow the breath to come to you, just like a wave would roll up onto the shore and then back out again. Just letting your breath come and go. Nothing left to do. And then just finding a little wiggle and stretch again through your body, your toes, your fingers, your wrists, your ankles. Take your time as you bend your knees, as you roll all the way over onto your side. Bring that top hand in front of you, and we're going to roll right up to our easy pose. Let's take a moment here. You can sit up on your cushion again if you like. Feel everything realigning, reorganizing to a whole new wonderful you. Closing your eyes for just a moment. Notice how you feel. What feels different than when we began? Taking all of this goodness into the rest of your day, and let's bring palms together at the heart, bowing into your sweetheart. Little TLC to yourself today. And thank you all for being here. It's always so wonderful to see you. Namaste.